When you pull up to the home of Jane Hartman, you know immediately you're somewhere special. Even the driveway tells a story. Pieces of glass are inlaid directly into the concrete, catching the light as you walk toward the door. It's the first hint that here, art isn't confined to a studio. It's everywhere. Step inside, and that feeling only grows stronger. Glass art fills the space, each piece vibrant and colorful. Jane loves bright colors, and her home reflects that joy completely.
Color can be really exuberant, it can be shiny, it can be pretty. And a lot of the subject matters that I work with can be kind of yucky. Bugs, diseases, parasites. This is bacteria. It's a hot cellar. It's gonorrhea.
Oh.
Isn't it pretty?
It looks pretty here, yeah.
And making those things pretty keeps the viewer's mind open to them. It makes it more approachable so they can appreciate it. And I just like color.
Jane is the artist behind Trilobite Glassworks. Her work is inspired by nature and the scientific world, a reflection of her background in science, which continues to shape how she approaches her art today.
My formal education was in science. I have a master's degree in paleontology, but not much in the way of art classes. About 30 years ago, I became interested in stained glass, and I started playing with it as a hobby. And after a while, I started, just for fun, selling things. And my aha moment was when I combined my science education with the glass art. So this is red blood cells infected with the parasite of malaria parasites, and they have different stages. And to my amazement, the science-y stuff sold much better than the run-of-the-mill decorative stuff that I had been making. So I realized there was a market out there for science art. So then I formally established a business, named it Trilobite Glassworks as a nod to my education in science, in paleontology.
Jane's work is striking, but it's also deeply educational. By blending science and art, she hopes people walk away curious, inspired, and maybe even seeing the natural world a little differently than before.
It brings a greater understanding of science, appreciation of science, that science can be interesting, it can be pretty, it can belong in an art gallery, that science is important. I hope maybe they can learn something from it, that they look at my work and then go home and want to learn more about it.
From research and concept to heat and finishing touches, her creative process is both methodical and imaginative.
So knowing how science works really helps me approach a scientific subject. I know how to think about it scientifically. I know the process of science. I know how to look at something and decide what the important parts are. It's really helpful when I have a customer commissioning me something and they're talking about some really complex scientific concepts. Having a background, even if it isn't in the science that I'm discussing, it really helps me get a way into understanding what the scientist is talking about. And that's the DNA on the inside.
Yeah.
And bacteria have cell walls.
Yeah.
And the little spots are ribosomes. Also, science helps me with the technical aspects of glass. There's a lot of physics and chemistry involved in glass art. You put together glass and you put it in a kiln and it melts, and different temperatures of the kiln gives you different effects. If you put two different colors of glass together, sometimes you get a chemical reaction and it changes the color. Those are all things that knowing how to understand the science behind all that really helps me control what I'm getting in my final art piece.
Jane later invited me into her workspace as she worked on a custom piece for a client, walking me through her creative process.
Understanding the science. Then I think about, okay, how do I show visually what the research is about? Because, in the scientific paper, it's all graphs and tables, which aren't very interesting as art. They can be, but it's not the way I want to go about it. So I'm thinking, okay, how can I show viruses being attacked by chlorine? Then I start making sketches. Here I have kind of what I came up with, and this is just a quick copy and paste sort of thing where I'm showing the chlorine molecules attacking the viruses. And I see, does the customer like that idea? So once I gotta have a good idea of what I want to do, I start making tests.
And while Jane was focused on the work, she wasn't alone. Her cat Milo stayed close by, quietly keeping watch and at times offering his own form of creative input.
What do you think? You like it so far? You're in the way.
And while her work looks effortless once it's finished, working with glass is anything but simple.
One of the first things people ask are, do you get cut? And I get cut all the time. But the thing about it is that glass is a very clean cut, so it heals really well. I have a supply of Band-Aids.
Among all the pieces she's created, there are some that stand out more than others. Works that feel especially meaningful.
This was a joint project I did with my husband with 3D printer. So he designed the molecule on the computer, printed it out in 3D with his 3D printer, and then I took that, made a mold from that, and cast it in glass. It's very proud. It was kind of a nice, because it was, I did it with my husband who died a few years ago, so I'll never sell that.
Yeah.
I couldn't charge enough for
From the glass in her driveway to the art on her walls, Jane's world is shaped by color, curiosity, and creativity. And at Trilobite Glassworks, science isn't just studied, it's transformed, one glowing piece of glass at a time. To learn more about Jane's artwork or to buy one for yourself, visit her Etsy page. In Rockville, I'm Rashai Sahalo.